What's going on? RuneScape.com. It's your boy, Ojama Garrett's here with another tier list. Today we're going to be talking about steel, so buckle up, baby. You know, running these down. Just got done with another one, hopping right into the next one, continuing the flow. This is tomorrow for you, but this is 20 minutes later for me. Right. Oh, so talking about steel items in general, the perspective of this list is going to be, you know, from a flipping perspective, collectors, you know, just the market surrounding steel items and stuff like that. Not necessarily like the gamer side of it, like, oh, steel items tier list for usefulness or something like that. Just talking about like market economics and stuff like that. I'm going to try to keep it to like what I know and stuff like that. If I don't know, I'll mention that I really don't know. You know, comment on items that, you know, I feel, you feel like I got wrong or what, stuff like that. You know, like the video, subscribe, all that good stuff if you enjoy, or, you know, just support the channel. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so with that being said, let us hop into this steel items tier list. So the first item up is going to be steel two-handed sword. Now, okay, let me talk before I hop in here. So overall here, we got a couple things going on. A lot of the steel market is going to be Alch market, so that's going to be like the steel plate body here, stuff like that. But there are some interesting items here too to talk about. So there's a little bit going on. Most of it is the Alch market. We have random items like the steel boots here. We have random items. I'm not 100% sure what this is. Maybe this shouldn't even been on the list, but I just grabbed them from my icons I scrubbed from the wiki. Anyway, but there are a few items here that are going on, you know, yeah, arrows, stuff like that. But I thought that like steel items are going to be kind of shit because the thing that like bronze has going for it is that there's a lot of collectors that collect bronze items. When you get to iron, there's still iron collectors. When you get to steel, not so much, at least that I've seen. Steel items don't seem to have a like super huge collector's item market from what I've seen, and my guess there is that like you're starting to get out of the, it's starting to get a little expensive. So to get a green stack of, let's say, like steel kite shields, I feel like that's gonna be a lot of money. Green stack would be millions, and steel kite shields I think go for like 350 to 550 each, so that would be quite a big so what's a green stack? 10 mil here, so just say 10 mil, just 350 here, and that is 3.5 bill for a green stack of just steel kite shields, which would be really cool in my opinion. But that's a lot to drop on just one green stack when there's other things that they like to fill up first. They like to get like, you know, a max stack of pure essence, a max stack of like elemental runes, those types of things. Feathers, those are the types of things I think of when people are starting their collections, or, you know, really advancing their collections. Plus then you have the entire bronze list, iron list, all that good stuff. So it's just kind of not really there. At least that's what I think. But I decided to just like create the sample list, which I kind of started content for, but that kind of fell apart, where I kind of wanted to like have some like experimentals and then check these accounts and then talk about what happened with them, which those accounts still exist, but they've been kind of maturing a little bit. And maybe that is a good standalone video to talk about all the action that's happened on those accounts, but that is neither here nor there. That may just be reserved for another video. Saying, oh, I gotta work on that. So what I did notice from steel items is that though there's not really a collector's item on them, they seem to do really well on the accounts for what my account's goals are, which are closed cycle, which I defined as like accounts that are buying and selling on the Grand Exchange without direct interaction with any other players. So that means they're just flippers. Okay, they just flip, but I don't want to interact with other players. I don't want them to be like trading. So even my own accounts and stuff like that, I just want to invest in an item, get the investment back, you know, and just keep rinse repeating on it like that. So with steel, there were some items that did do pretty well, and you know, I'm obviously making this video, going to be breaking some of those items for myself, but I'm not really too concerned with that. It's all just experimental, and then just reporting my findings here. So there's that. My guess why they work on the Grand Exchange is that this is like we're at this finicky spot. Like the items are not useless now. We're approaching items that are starting to be used by the player base, not just useless junk that like you pick up and you sell it because you know it's from a goblin or something like that or whatever. You're just getting some gold, or you're just like getting rid of junk. You're not like selling to these superficial markets that are collectors markets essentially. So like these items are used for like low level accounts. I don't think that's really is there steel peers in the PKing world? I don't know, but I could see it. I don't know if those defense bonuses are really worth it, but then we're starting to see items that you're training with, like your steel darts, your steel arrows for free-to-play range trainers. Not necessarily probably crossbows here, but we're starting to see a lot more useful items come into the game, like these steel arrows specifically as well. Like steel arrows come up and down in price and stuff like that. They're good to merch, whatever. So just an interesting set of items here. So let's just hop into the items now. So the steel two-handed sword, I will put in C, maybe even D. Like we don't even have really a collector's market board anymore, so there's not really much to do to go on here. When I bought them and tried to sell them back, they're pretty easy to buy. It's because nobody's going to use them. They don't really serve any function whatsoever. That's my, it's just, they're not very good to elk. They're not very good to kill things with. They're not very good items to begin with. But it's the beginning of the two-handed sword usefulness, but it's still just pretty crappy. Same with these items here, steel arrow poison. Same as my other ones. This is just normal stuff. But if you're just watching this, iron or steel arrows poison, they're kind of cool. Would be cool to see them in free to play, but they're not going to be worth really anybody's time in members, and that's the only place you can really get them. You can get your sale of like that one person who wants a steel arrow poison for some reason, or a set of them just for whatever weird reason. You can probably get them to pay like $2,000 to $5,000 gold for them, but other than that, not very good. So the steel arrow tips gonna be really good. You got your fletching training. This is a good decent item. Like people I could see smithing it, because you can it's a long inventory, so it's very AFK to smith. So there's it's a decent volume, decent margin to flip, decent training item, etc. I said I wasn't going to talk about like the playing side of it, but in usefulness, we're trying to look at the whole scope. You know what I'm saying? So steel axe, people are going to buy and sell it a lot because this is up the line of training wood cutting. So this is going to be resaleable pretty well. Steel bar may be the best item on this list because I talk about this in every single video. So if you're new here, this is this is going to be heavily correlated with the elk price of the steel body. So if you don't know anything about the steel body market, it is an elk market, though it is it's not as popular as other elkables like rune plate bodies or adamant plate bodies or green d'hide bodies, etc. This is still going to be an elkable, which people are looking at, and then there's supply and demand, and when supply goes down and demand goes up, this is going to be too expensive for you to really look at. But if it goes down below the elk price, it's a great one to grab for long-term investments. Buy and hold, it's not bad for short-term stuff either. You can probably train it I say that, but I hate this type of trading because there's botters and skillers and stuff like that. Plus you have cannonball people. There's a huge demand on this item, so it's kind of tough to get. It's kind of tough to get at a really low price, but you can get it at a whatever. You know what I'm saying? It is. There's enough demand on this item because of cannonballers, because of the elk market and stuff like that, that it becomes a lucrative item to get. So if you can spot this motherfucker below the elk price, which would be like, I think I talked about this in the last video. Yes, I did. So it would be like 5 steel bars. So like the perfect price for like a steel plate body would be like, for you to get it for, if you're looking to buy, it would be like $750, because then you're selling it to elkers. You have like 100 to 150 margin because they're selling it for 900 to 925. I've seen because I think it's like I think the elkers want to buy it at like around 950 because the nature rune price is like 100 or something like that. And then you get like a huge mass produced elkable item where you make a little bit of money, but it's like free magic experience for them, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? However, all that works, I'm not 100% sure on the numbers there, but steel bars are your way of purchasing large amounts of steel plate bodies, because if you buy just straight steel plate bodies, you're kind of limited to 125 per 4 hours, which isn't bad, for a free-to-play account. or an Alch or something like that. So yeah. Battle Axe is down here with the two-handed sword because, you know, it is a combat weapon, but it is really bad. It's not usually picked up. So bolts, poison, kind of ass, unfinished is going to be A tier here. People are going to train with this, but it's not the best, but it's not the worst. There's margins there for you to get. They're pretty good. Bolts, steel bolts, they're usually pretty consistent price. 7,000 buy limit, so it's up to 42,000 a day. Though, you know, whatever. You know, it's not the best, or it is one of the best to just like continuously flip and make a decent profit on, because it's just one of those ammos. It's just good at, you know, it's cheap ammo. Some people are buying. It's not as good as like Mithril. It's not as good as Adamant, obviously. It's not as good as those higher ones, but we're starting to get into usefulness there. But in comparison to the rest of the steel items, steel bolts are going to be S tier. And personally, I kind of want to chuck that up there, but whatever. Brutal steel arrows are going to be bad, just because no demand, no use, whatever. Collectors maybe, but that's going to be difficult to find a customer. Steel chain bodies now, I have actually had a lot of luck buying them and selling them with like a 200 to 300 GP margin. Okay, so take that with what you take that, you know. Not the greatest volume, so maybe it's not an S tier, but it is top tier item. I didn't expect it to resale so well, but it has been. So steel claws, kind of butt. Steel crossbow, probably C. Don't think you're going to see a lot of it, but you never know. My instinct says just C. So we got the poison daggers, kind of butts, but we got normal daggers here. So in my other tier lists, daggers are great because people want to collect them, but I don't even know if the steel dagger collection market really is there too much. But in terms of like now compared to the rest of the items, because now we have a resale market that actually exists and gives decent margins, like I said before, 200 GP, 100, even 100 GP margin would still be considered good for this type of metric for your investment or whatever. It'd still be close to 20 to 35% ROI if you only got 100 GP margin here. I think they're going for like 3, sometimes selling for 5, whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty good. And they sell for some reason. But daggers, on the other hand, super easy to get. If there is a collector's market, this probably would be a B, but they don't really sell for shit. The margin's kind of ass, and yeah, so it's down in C. Steel arrows, the prices are really volatile on the steel arrow, but the fact that it's a free-to-play item makes it really strong to buy and sell. You can get like 2 to 5 GP margins on it, or if you're just going to play it safe, 1 GP margins are easy to get all the time. Kind of got to watch it, but compared to the rest of the steel items, again, yada, 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 same thing. So steel darts, too, going to be the same reason there. Not as good as steel arrows, in my opinion, because you, like, as a member, like, there's going to be a lot better items for you to get than the steel dart, but, you know, steel dart, the volume is starting to increase, the price is starting to increase a little bit, and the margins are a little bit good. They're decent, but there's better items for you as a members player, but it's not as good as steel arrows because you can't create a free-to-play alt to then flip this item because it's locked to member. So it's better for a member, you know, try it out, whatever, but it's not as good as arrows because of what I just said. So dart, poisons are all going to kind of be crap because why? Anyway, steel dragon mask. These masks and all these tier lists, I should probably look them up and see, like, kind of research them a little bit, but I just get the feeling that they're not that good. I don't really like trading, like, the treasure trail items, whatever, that type of stuff. I don't think they're very good. But again, feel free to correct me down below if I'm wrong. Steel darts, it's to train fletching. You're starting to become more and more useful here. Actually, these will probably go here because it's up the tree. You know, they're buying all the dart stuff. They're going to get their fletching experience up really fast using darts. So it's going to be good. Two-handed steel axe is not going to be very good. The full helm is right there with the chain body. You know, 1 to 200 GP margins. Didn't expect to see it, but I did. Now the gold and the trim, I'm reluctant to put it anywhere. I don't think this is that good, but again, I've mentioned this in other videos, so I'm going to mention it here again. You could probably collect the pieces, put them together, and there's some sort of like margin there for you to get, or you can buy them and break them apart and get some sort of margin, but it just takes up a lot of slots. I feel like it takes a lot of slots. But even buying and selling these, you're going to be buying to somebody who wants to look cool, and I don't see a lot of people selling them, but the margin there is probably massive, so it's not like it's complete booty, but it's just not B quality. So yeah, Hostas, Halberd, not very good. Just gonna put it in, but don't really want to talk about it. So the Javelin's gonna be okay, buying and selling. I will put that in the middle because this is just I don't know why, but it just sells. Like the Javelins sell, they buy and sell okay. Not a horrible item, not very great either. Steel Kite Shield, I will put it at the bottom of S tier. This has been, like, out of all the sealed items for Cola Cycle, this is one of the best items I've been able to flip. It's low volume, and it probably doesn't scale very high and stuff like that, and, you know, more attention brought to it may make it a little bit harder to flip because it's going to drive competition to this entire theme. But who knows how well my flipping items, I'm speculating a lot there, but just from my past experience, this has been one of my best items to flip. Javelin heads, not going to be very good. So the trim items, again, going to be kind of butt. The throwing knives are not going to be that good. So I actually want to slide down darts and this stuff here just because of that argumentation I made about, like, members items. You should be flipping better items, but they are better than steel items technically. But are they really if you're, I don't know, just like the entire, like, market economy of, like, what you can be flipping and how you can be flipping, the different strategies that are available to you. Free-to-play items are just going to be better just because they're going to be a lot more scalable. That's just facts. But they are decent items to flip in a vacuum on one member's account. They're decent, you know. Like if you're a member, these are better than most of the other steel items, but just in the entire overall scope of whatever. And I know I keep repeating myself and stuff like that. It's just like I'm kind of teetering between that, but I think I'm going to settle that here. I will put a lot of these down low behind a lot of these other free-to-play items because I would rather scale out than care about whether these are a little bit better margins on one account. You know what I'm saying? Don't play on one account. Play on multiple accounts. I'm just telling you that. You know, I'm going to be so bold to say to play on multiple accounts. So now because of that, I want to chuck them all down to B. Yeah, because they're not bad, but they're not great. I want you to play on as many accounts as you can handle. So that's where these items are going to go. Crossbow limb, not very good. Probably not very good. So they're down there. Longsword is going to be probably not even C tier. I think I bought these. They're easy to buy. They're harder to sell. Steel mace, same thing. Medium helms, the same thing. I haven't been able to sell it back. I've been able to get these, but I haven't been able to sell them very good. Well, actually, my bad. Okay, I lied. Okay, sorry. Steel mace, you can get them dirt ass cheap. I think I got like 3,000 or 4,000 of them for like 30 each, and I've been slowly selling them back for like 100, 150 each. Steel nails, gonna be very S tier. This is gonna be like super S tier, not ahead of bars. Sorry. High buy limits. The last set of steel nails I slow bought. I think I got like 50,000 of them for like 21, and I'm pretty sure as of this video they're around 30. So I made a pretty good profit on it as for like an AFK account that you just log in every once in a while. You know what I'm saying? Steel pickaxe is going to be an item that's bought and sold often because of steel or mining training, so that is a decent item to flip. Low buy limit too. You know, I don't know the collector's market here, but still, it's a low buy limit item. So if there is a collector's market for it, it's going to rank higher than the rest of the items usually. Steel plate bodies are going to be probably, in my opinion, the best steel item in the game. Just because you get 100 accounts buying steel plate bodies, you will always have a market on the Alch market in all bulks and stuff like that, and I think that's just a really solid market to go into. A lot of whales in there, a lot of whales. So, you know, if you're a supplier, you can get it for a good price. There's a lot of bulkers that'll pick that shit up off you. If you're a bulker, then you move to that next rung, you got the big bank, you become a whale. There's a lot of money in that market, man. So it's just a really good item to get into. So I just think that's going to be the best item. So steel boots, not sure for flipping. Probably just going to chuck it in butt. That's just what my instincts say. Steel plate legs, they do buy and sell really well. I think this bought and sold better than chain bodies, if I do remember correctly. Steel plate skirt, not very good in terms of its resale value. So we got the trim there. That stuff's all going there. This is all going here. Fashionscape, not a huge fan of it. Plate sets, we'll just put them at the bottom of B because they're probably not bad. You know, there's, again, feel like I'm repeating a broken record here, but there's probably some sort of market in the buying and selling of either steel components, putting the sets together and selling it. Okay, actually, you're right. Now I remember from my last video. this is actually probably like low-key kind of lit, because you know when you're making a new account, you're training its melee up, you know, whether it's going to be like a gargoyle alt or something like that, you're just going to take it to crabs. When I log on to buy that item, I will pay like 20, 30, 40, 50K for this set. You know what I'm saying? And maybe you can even package it like that. You want to start your own little like business, let's say like RuneScape business. You could pick up like 1,000 of these sets and then advertise to players, sell these sets to them, you know, like an entire melee training kit. You know, it'll come with a iron, steel, mithril, or black mithril, whatever. You know how like people sell quest kits and stuff like that? Maybe this market kind of exists for this if you want to put in that labor. Maybe that maybe sounds like a little fun business to run. I'm going to actually put that on my board. Yeah, I'm just going to do it in a video right here. Yeah, that sounds like a fun series. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like if you're 20 minutes in, you can waited for me to do that. But yeah, you know, RuneScape business videos, melee, training set business. You know what I'm saying? Just to take away, you know, the best businesses are saving people's time. And speaking of saving time, this will be a plug for my product. If you want to scale to a 1,000+ RuneScape business, you want to make hundreds of million GP a week, check out my link down below. Okay. There we go. Easy plug. Spears, steel spears. I think this is the one you make the scarecrow with. So just because of that, I think people are going to be buying it. So it's probably a C tier. But in the grand scheme of things, probably not that good. Steel scimitars. I'm not going to play favorites. I love steel scimitars. So I want to put it as number 1, but it's probably not number 1. But this is a part of the melee training cycle where people are just buying a bunch of scimitars so that they can train their attack and their strength up. You know what I'm saying? So this will buy and sell quite often because a lot of people are constantly making new accounts, new account builds and stuff like that, and the steel scimitar does come up a lot. So this has very powerful buying and selling. Steel sword. This is a C tier, you know, for collectors. Doesn't really exist, but you know, it doesn't really sell either because there's not really a major use for it in game. Steel square body, same thing, or square shield, sorry. Steel throwing axe, kind of butt. Studs, not very good. Warhammers, not very good. Buttons, I'm not sure. I think these are buttons, not very good. And there you have it. We have the steel things covered. I think I got everything that I've experienced with steel. Oh, cannonballs aren't on here. Obviously, cannonballs would be an S tier. Fuck. Cannonballs in the S tier. Anyway, but yeah, I think this is a pretty extensive list to cover the steel archetype, the steel theme, the steel niche, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully this is kind of cool. I'm having some fun with this, so hopefully you guys kind of enjoy this type of like really hyper fixation on different types of things or whatever. Yeah. So let me know what you think down below. And you know what? I'm going to throw this out to you guys. I was going to start deleting all of my tier lists. Like I have a folder for tier lists here. And if anybody wants them, after I'm done with all these, I don't know, or whatever, any tier lists I put out and you want, I'll zip it up and then I can send that to you guys in the Discord if you guys want to make your own video or whatever on that. Just feel free to do it yourself. It'd be kind of cool. Any creators out there, if there's any of them that exist. I want to also now do a call to action to become a creator. Please, like the Multiscape and the flipping community would do us all of us good. Just, you know, to become a creator. It's never been easier to become a creator on YouTube. So I would just encourage all of you to do it. It's a fun little hobby and, you know, potential to grow into any business entrepreneurship. Just do it. So, but if you want any of these lists I've made or whatever, compile them. I'll zip these up and send them your way. So just hit me up. So thank you guys very much and have a nice day. Check out the links down below. Check out my sponsor, referral link, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Please subscribe, like, well, all that good stuff. Comment down below. Peace out.